Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start off by remembering the many people that died 7 years ago today. Pearl Harbor. These were brave people, and it was a terrible day in American history. Next time you see a veteran, thank him, thank her. We can't begin to understand their sacrifice. That being said, I feel I should answer a question that is probably on the tips of a lot of people's tongues. Why are you doing this? Why are you running this campaign? And make no mistake, this is a campaign. This isn't a blog. This isn't a video diary. This is a campaign. I really believe I can make a difference. I believe that any one person can make a difference in this country, and my campaign, will I get elected? Doubtful. But I believe that through my actions here and through the people I reach out to, the attitudes can start to change and improve and make this country the great land that it once was. So, what prompted me to undertake this? Well, I believe I detailed to you at some point the fair amount of disgust that I had for the state of American politics and the lying and the terrible things that are going on in Washington, lobbyists, politicians working for these companies that had been paying for their campaigns for years once they're out of office. I mean, the details are apparent to anyone who's had any kind of exposure to this sort of stuff. But the straw that really broke the camel's back, so to speak, that prompted me to take this course of action, I was watching a satirical newscast a few nights ago, and they were lampooning a candidate, and I won't talk about who it was or the specifics of it. It's the general way they handled this that really led me to want to change the system, want to change the attitudes, want to improve things. This candidate, a number of years ago, had a position on a particular issue. Currently, his position has changed from A to B. The person interviewing them, the media representative, was going after the candidate for changing his position. All the while, the candidate said in a number of ways, my position hasn't changed. Essentially lying. The way he voted years past, the speeches he gave, the interviews he gave, they're all a matter of public record. We can all look back and say, here's where you said A, and now you're saying B. There are a number of things about this that troubled me. First of all, the way the media representative was confronting the issue. He had absolutely no interest in the issue itself. His only interest was to show flaw or fault with the candidate for changing their position. Now, I don't care what side of that issue I was on, you're on, whatever. But I consider it flawed in philosophy if you attack someone for learning and growth. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that his reasoning behind changing his position was benevolent or malevolent. I really don't know. But what I will say is, when you hold an opinion of a topic and you're given new information, you need to incorporate that new information, the new facts, into your opinion. Now, you can choose to ignore them, or you can choose to replace existing information in your head with them. But for someone to stand up in front of me and say, this is what I believe, and nothing and no one is going to change my opinion of that. If you're completely unwavering in your stand on a particular issue, regardless of what information is presented to you, then you are either delusional or lying. So the fact that the media representative attacked the candidate for growth, whatever growth that may have been, but for growth and change, troubled me. Beyond that, the fact that the candidate himself felt he needed to defend himself by lying to that media representative about his position not ever changing spoke volumes about the way people in politics view the intelligence of the American people. Again, the quotes, the way he voted, the interviews, these are all matters of public record. You or I could look up the information that the reporter was talking about and say, well, here it is. We're not that stupid. You're not that stupid. I'm not that stupid. And to be treated in such a fashion is very representative of the way we're viewed. This also troubled me a lot. There was a time when politicians stood up in front of people and gave speeches and were called out on their lies and on their false logic. Those days are past, but there's nothing wrong with calling somebody out for lying or for not using a fair level of reason. All that being said, this was one of a number of instances that I've seen in the recent past that have driven me to lead this campaign. I want to say it's a campaign for a reason. I'm not hardcore conservative. I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool liberal. I'm a mixture of everything. And I know that's kind of cliche, but it's true. I don't hold a hardline opinion that follows any party lines. As a matter of fact, if one group of people were to speak to me, they'd probably say, well, he's ultra-conservative, and if another group were to speak to me, they'd say, well, he's a libertarian, or if another group were to speak to me, they'd say, oh, he's a Democrat. None of that is true. I'm a man of reason, and I'm willing to be flexible in my opinion regarding most everything. If enough evidence and facts are given to me to support a perspective other than my own, yes, I'm going to assimilate that information and utilize it. Be foolish not to. The future of this country really depends on us, on the people. We need to take a greater level of interest in what's going on and who the men are making the changes to, what policies they're driving, and what their means and ends are for those policies. But I believe that we can do it. I believe that we are a greater force, and I believe that I can help channel that greater force in a positive way for the United States. I really want to inspire people to think, to consider critically, to question things, and to come to a reasonable conclusion, as opposed to having an agenda and fighting for the illogical extreme simply to forward their agenda in a direction they want. There's a more reasonable solution to it than that, and we're smart enough to find that reasonable solution. Thank you. Good night.